All right. So the Yankees are reeling, clearly. And, there's a lot of folks that are, and we talk about this regularly in my live streams, this is folks that are feeling very discouraged and very frustrated and angry. And you know what? Those feelings are justified, okay? It's okay to feel that way. Totally okay. And we all have different interpretations and thoughts about this stuff. To me, what frustrates me, what I feel kind of discouraged about is when the Yankees play poorly, okay? Obviously, we feel good when they win. What angers me is when they play poorly and look disinterested and unfocused, right? That's when I get angry, and this has been happening quite a bit recently. But let's get into this. Let's timeline this. Right, in the beginning of the season, first half of the season, they had a magical first half. Like, it was kind of a dream first half of the season, right? But they, one of the things that were the prevailing theme there is they were all healthy, and they were able to feed off each other, right? And that's a great thing, and happy for them, and it allowed them to build up the lead that they have now, what they're trying to hold on to, and we just don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but we'll see. Now, second half, they've been ridden with injuries, inconsistent play. I think some of the guys may have peaked a little bit early, but the injuries and inconsistent play has been a problem. Just when we think one guy's getting healthy, then someone else gets hurt. Carpenter, and then Stanton's supposed to come back. Then DJ's down with a toe. Then we have Tommy John surgery for Chad Green and Luis Hill. Like, it's injuries left and right. And the way I see it, they had, I think their identity was established in the beginning of the year, but there was still, to me, something missing. Some of the great Yankee teams that at least I love, we had an enforcer on the offensive side and on the pitching side. What do I mean by that? The enforcer to me was Darryl Strawberry, right, on the offensive side. He's a guy that stands up for his teammates, right? You saw the fight with the Baltimore Orioles. If you haven't, you have to see it. When Tino Martinez gets hit and he stands up for his teammates, okay? That's the type of attitude, and that's the type of attitude that I thought Josh Donaldson was going to bring here. And he has to a degree, but his offense has been lacking quite a bit. His defense has been stellar, but I sometimes I want to see dickhead Josh Donaldson back here a little bit, right? I think it's important, and that type of swag, that type of attitude. I think we're going to get some of that with Harrison Bader once he comes back, but I'd like to see some fire for the rest of the team, or from the rest of the team. I think it would be a great thing. Now on the pitching side, I think of who's our CC Sabathia, who's our Roger Clemens. And what do I mean by that? Well, we got Cole, we got Montez. Now we have some good pitchers, but who's the guy that to me establishes one of those guys you see this here, this 60 feet 6 inches from my mound to home plate? That's my territory. I own it, not you. And guess what? You get too close to the plate, I'm gonna put one by your head, and you ain't gonna do a damn thing about it. You ain't gonna attack me. You're not gonna attack me. Like, who's our guy that does that? You know what I mean? The guy that's not afraid to throw to the other team if somebody hits us or throws close to us. I don't know that. I love Cole, but he's kind of a thinking man's pitcher too. I'm not exactly sure he would do it. I don't think Nestor Cortez would do it. Maybe Jameson Ty. I don't know. Just not Frankie Montes. I just don't know. Okay, so I think there's a new identity that needs to form here with this new team, this new collection of bodies, a new collection of athletes. And I think it would be better once Stanton comes back and hopefully Carpenter comes back and Bader comes in. I think we'll have more weaponry in the tool shed, but they have to figure out how to make it work one way or another. If it's a spark calling up some kids, if you have to sit Hicks, you have to sit some other guys, you call up an Oswaldo Cabrera or an Oswald Peraza and sit some guys that are just playing on focus. Being mic'd up last night with Gleyber Torres, I don't think it was a good idea. But it happened. So, this is where I think the team is lacking right now. This cohesive kind of unit again, where we know these guys have each other's backs. I don't feel it the way I did in the first half of the season. All those guys still doing with the pitchers. In the beginning of the season, they would all go out to the bullpen to watch whoever's starting that they throw a bullpen and hang out with them. Are they still doing that? I don't know, but that's the type of thing that I really, really love, that showed a cohesive unit, a close-knit unit. And I hope they continue to do that. Because, again, riding with your boys and when it's bad is just as important as riding with your boys when it's good. And I think with the Yankees facing their first bit of adversity right now, they have to figure out their identity that's going to help them identify how the hell to get out of it. And they're still not out of it. They're not even close. So, and just bit pieces, Clay Holmes. Keep in mind, just for perspective purposes, I was talking to Derek on one of our recaps about this. And keep in mind, yeah, he's struggling big time. But he was a middle reliever for the Pittsburgh Pirates last year. He was thrown into the closer role for the Yankees in the Bronx. And expected to just be dominating the way he was. You know how hard that is to do? Going from Pittsburgh to New York is not the same thing as going from New York to Pittsburgh. Okay? Just for perspective purposes, I think these things are important to keep in mind. It's easy to just say this team sucks, they mail it in, I'm giving up on them, blah, blah. To me, I don't think the easy way out is the right way to do it. But that's just my opinion. Again, everybody's entitled to their views, and everybody's justifiably frustrated with this team, as am I. But I'm not throwing in the white flag. I think they have what it takes to kind of get back and right the ship, but we need to see some consistency. We need to see some energy. And I don't want to hear Aaron Boone doing post-game interviews answering questions that Cashman should be answering or that Hal should be answering. He's not ready to answer questions for everybody, but he's sometimes the fall guy. He has to cover for their asses, right? You get the occasional answer from Cashman, but it's like cryptic. You don't understand what he's talking about. Hal, I don't even know if the guy's alive. When's he going to show interest in his team? When's he going to make an appearance? Maybe the team would appreciate to know that their owners actually care about him. They want him to win, just like George is on occasion. Sometimes George is overbearing, but you knew he cared about his team. You knew he cared about winning. We don't know that with Hal, and I think that's a problem too. So that's where that problem stems from the top. And I think Cashman has a little bit of that as well. He's kind of the midline between the manager and the owner. Okay, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens the rest of this year. But and again, we've been gifted from the Toronto Blue Jays too having a slump, so we haven't lost much ground from them. But I'm not ruling them out. Not ruling out Tampa Bay either. And Houston, unless we right this ship, and get guys like Marinaccio up here and figure out what to do with Clark Schmidt and even Nestor Cortes, who's 20% over his innings limit, okay, or his max innings in his career. He's at 113 right now. He's never thrown more than 93 innings. It's 20% over. So they have to watch out for him too. Got to figure out what to do with Severino when he comes back. Marinaccio, I think he should be up. I've said that already repeatedly. Schmidt too. And don't be afraid to call up some of these young kids to sit some of these other guys who are just not doing anything. Okay, a spark of energy somewhere. We just need to show that they want to win. I'll have a better idea. I think a lot of us will on the 18th. Whether they wait to call up somebody by then, we'll know it's some service time manipulation too. Because after the 18th, they can call up somebody to get an extra year service time. Before that, they can't. So I hope they don't do that. So like one of these guys, watch him call up Tyler Wade. Probably not the right guy, even though he's showing a little bit more power. But I watch him call him Tyler Wade now, and then if DJ gets hurt, he's saying it's late today, but if he goes on the IL, they got to call up somebody. That's why I would be calling up Oswaldo Cabrera or Oswald Peraza. These guys learn how to play multiple positions. They're versatile. Okay, yes. Wade is too. He plays the infield and the outfield, but if you're going to call up Wade, have him replace Marvin Gonzalez so you don't play anyway. And then have one of these young kids replace DJ. Right? It's just my thought, but this is where my head is at. I want to know where your head's at. Give me some feedback in the comments, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that yet. If you like good, honest Yankee content. No bullshit, no beating around a bush. Okay? We just get right to it. Okay, and I don't want you to miss. And if you do subscribe, hit the notification bell because I don't want you missing stuff like this either. It's going to keep coming one way or another. Let's get it going.